Today is going to be all about the Dubai Expo. What is the hype around it and what exactly is the Dubai Expo? In the news headlines, Dubai Expo is an $8 billion investment. It's a world fair happening right now here in Dubai. And to understand this, we have to travel back to 1851 in London, where it first started. It was the first ever world fair created by countries from around the world to come together in one place and celebrate diversity and most of all, work together on common future goals. And this is the first time ever in Expo history that each country has their own dedicated pavilion. It took me 8 days to complete the entire Expo site and visit 51 of the best voted pavilions by the visitors. So my goal today is to present to you my top 15 favorite pavilions from the Expo and 3 unique spots you should not miss in the Expo. By the way, the only requirement to enter inside is your ticket, obviously, and a proof of vaccination for people over the age of 18. Even 1 dose of vaccination works. Or if you don't have that done, you can also present a PCR test result no longer than 72 hours. Anyway, right when you enter the Expo site, you will be welcomed by autonomous robots all around, starting from a police to a travel map guide and even your very own friendly companion. One pro tip would be to buy these passports you get at the gate for just 20 dirhams. You buy them and you can get loads of country stamps in them. It's sort of like a memento to carry along with you. Anyway, before I start, I want to clarify none of these are biased and you guys are free to judge. Let's start with number 15. We have the Aleph Mobility Pavilion. So this is not a country pavilion. This is one of the pavilions in the many areas dedicated in the Expo site. It shows how humanity has evolved and mobilized forward. Also shows the development of the entire Middle Eastern region and few of the main people behind its evolution, and even the human models look so real and lifelike. It also shows UAE's progress and also future goals for space exploration, but I love how much detail went into each and every model over there. Moving to number 14, we have Pakistan, our neighboring country. It's quite an interesting architectural glance from the outside. Looks pretty fancy, looks pretty good as well. And my favorite part in the entire pavilion has definitely got to be like the multiple cultural touches on the inside and the inclusion of all these traditional elements along with a few modern tinges here and there. Pretty cool, Pakistan. I really liked it. Also, they have live music right up at the front, so you can enjoy that as well. Number 13, we have Luxembourg, which is right next to the Pakistan pavilion. It has some pretty presentations on their own space exploration projects, but definitely the most popular thing about this pavilion has to be the see-through slide tunnel. I mean, who doesn't want to just slide down the entire way of the pavilion? Bonus items are these holographic see-through objects, mirrors through which you can see the beautiful sceneries of Luxembourg. Number 12, we have India. It has a ton of various themes throughout the entire pavilion. You enter and you're welcomed by all the space explorations India has done through ISRO, and then you get to move through this garden, which is also like a live yoga session. There are people actually doing yoga over there, and if you're interested, you can also learn a thing or two from them there itself live. Now this pavilion has 3 floors, and the best part is on the topmost floor, and that is the LED tunnel. Oh my god, you go through this room that has LED panels all around you, and the entire experience you get of seeing various different regions of India with the various cultural touches and even movies, music, everything just gives sort of like a nostalgic feeling for all the Indians out there, and for all the new people going over there, it's a pretty good photo spot as well. Moving on, number 11, we have Netherlands. The whole theme revolves around this old mining corporation, but the main theme of the entire pavilion is water conservation, and the whole projector display with the transparent umbrellas has got to be one of the most unique ways someone has ever presented their work. Bonus point for that entire chimney kind of thing as well. Look pretty cool with the steam coming out of it. Number 10, we have Thailand. Definitely one of the best aesthetically looking pavilions just from the outside, but the main show is on the inside. The first room you enter, it has a big screen in front, and then you have fog and light out of nowhere, and this entire story being narrated of how Thailand was formed and developed. Amazing feel with the scent as well. And then you move on to the next room, which is by the way a moving deck, and gives you like a complete POV experience of a drone traveling through the different parts of Thailand, maybe future Thailand. Looks so good, and it's definitely one of the things you should experience when you're here in Dubai. Number 9 has to go to South Korea, the very next pavilion to it. Similar to Thailand, looks quite sick from the outside with the changing blocks all around. I don't know the meaning behind it, but it looks pretty cool. So when you enter the pavilion, you're given your own personalized phone that you set up according to your own choices, and this allows you to take pictures pictures throughout the entire pavilion in the unique Korean pavilion filters, and in the end you can choose up to 5 pictures to be sent to your own email. And when you follow the path, you end up in the sky deck, which has a complete aerial view of the entire expo site. And with the help of your phone, if you scan one of those many QR codes on the sides, you also get a full AR experience of the models of the city of Korea. But what was definitely my favorite was the vertical cinema hall, and it is exactly what the name describes it. It's basically you sitting on this pillow, on this foam pillow, and you get to experience this entire vertical film. I think it's quite unique in this new age and era of vertical films. For all the K-pop fanatics, in the end you also have a show, so make sure you align your entire visit along with the show timings because they keep on changing. Number 8, we have Switzerland. Right off when you're in front of the pavilion, you're part of a whole mirror illusion. The whole front of the pavilion is basically a mirror that kind of reflects the bottom surface where you have the Swiss cross, and you also get these umbrellas with which you can take pictures. So it's kind of like a good photo spot in the beginning as well. But the main fun is when you enter through the pavilion, and the first right you take from there, you enter this room, completely foggy room. It takes you through this path and you're like, what's gonna happen, what's gonna happen? And right when you reach the top, you get this complete panoramic view of the mountains around you, which mimics of how you might experience when you're on top of the Swiss Alps. Pretty nice, pretty nice. Number 7, we have the USA, the United States of America. I feel like it's a relief for visitors to enter because it takes you around this conveyor belt so that you don't have to walk around. You just literally stand on it and it takes you through the entire exhibition. You kind of feel like you're a luggage in an airport. On the top floor, it has a replica of the rover that was sent to Mars. But definitely the most interesting part about the pavilion has to be 2 pieces of rock. Not just any rock. One of them is from the moon, the one you can actually touch. It's kind of strange texture wise because it's like it's solid but has a velvety soft touch to it. And the second stone is from Mars itself. You can't really touch it, but the up close viewing experience, worth it. Moving on to the next one, we have Mother Russia. One of the most unique ways of learning, as I would say, basically shows how human mind connects with things around and how it reacts to different sensations all around. I mean, just going to that second floor and viewing the entire thing just blows your mind. We are now closing into the top 5 categories. Number 5 spot goes to Singapore. Now listen, I had visited Singapore a few years back. If you guys haven't watched that video, click on the eye here or here and watch the video. This pavilion definitely does justice to Singapore. Like, one of the main reasons why I like Singapore is how they incorporated the entire modern architecture along with like nature all around it. This pavilion replicates that entire experience all together. You get this entire cooling tropical forest feel in the middle of scorching desert. Like, you feel like you're in a whole different place altogether. Number 4 spot. Now this is indeed the most fun pavilion in the entire space. That goes to the campus Germany, the German pavilion. Oh my god, it definitely made me feel like a kid again. So right when you enter, they give you your own custom name tag, and this will track you along through the entire exhibition. So every time you go in front of a model, it will call you by your own dedicated name. What? Top attraction is definitely the ball pit arena. You have definitely seen this in any of the Instagram reels you've seen on Instagram. It's so fun just to be there. Even my dad was having fun until he fell over and he's like, not for me. And the most fun part is in the end where you have the whole swinging playground. Oh my god, that was so good. Definitely would recommend. Number 3 spots goes to the home country, UAE, United Arab Emirates. So the structure you see right up front is very special. It's actually meant to be a falcon's ribcage, and it is the national bird of UAE as well. And if you look closely into it, you'll also see these hydraulic lifts that move the feathers up and down. Pretty nice from the outside as well, where you get this entire waiting area with like tons of Zen kind of areas. You have traditional Arabic dance, and you also have a real falcon viewing experience. So when you're entering the inside, you have sand dunes. What I did not expect was those were real sand dunes. You have lights projecting the entire story of how UAE had developed in the last 50 years right on those sand dunes, and the entire projection as well is interactive. So like, imagine you walk up in front of the display and the display actually interacts with you. You also have this big cinema room with this entire animated film in it. I like the music, can't put it over here because of copyright strikes, but a big thumbs up for that. Number 2 spot goes to none other than Japan. It takes an entire hour to complete the entire pavilion, and I'll explain you why. So right when you enter, you get your own phone as well as your own headset. Now you have to answer a few questions, and based on your answers, you will get your own dedicated particular flower which has its own meaning. What I love the most is that each individual person has their own different unique experience which is unlike the person right next to them. Everyone has a whole new feel depending on the choices they make throughout the entire pavilion. This is unlike any other pavilion I have visited in the entire site. I mean, kind of makes sense why the queue was so long. I'll definitely recommend arriving at the pavilion before 10 a.m. in the morning to cut down on the queue lines, and then at the end all the different paths will just bring you to this one room where you can interact live with each other as a flower. So your flower character follows you throughout the entire pavilion, and it's like a live Facebook session kind of thing. And they ended off in style with this entire Zen room, a complete 10-minute Zen that just brings your entire hectic life to a complete soothing stop. It's definitely something. This would have been at the #1 spot had it not been for the long queues. But coming to the #1 spot right now, I think you guys have made your guesses, but this, ladies and gentlemen, is Saudi Arabia. Like, Saudi did everything at the right way. The long queues have been cut off. The whole exhibition is about the user and the pavilion and how we can connect both of them. So the front of the whole building is actually a reflective surface that reflects the LED lights on the floor. So imagine if you're a kid, you're running around, the light interacts with the way you walk and it presents on the screen, like it reflects it on the screen above, and then you can just enter, and right when you enter you have this whole waterfall falling from the top. It's kind of fun because like the whole task is to just make it through it, stand over there, and then you cross it without getting wet. And let's just say a lot of people failed badly at that. But right after this you have to get your cameras and your nose ready because you have this long escalator going to the top through which you have beautiful views of the mountain of Saudi Arabia, and you also get this beautiful aroma of incense. It's very reminiscent of the entire Middle Eastern culture. And the second floor is just insane. It's such a stunning visual experience from every angle you see. I have no words how to describe it. It's the most beautiful art exhibition I've ever seen. All of this is it's like groundbreaking technology for me. Now these were the top 15 ones, but few honorable mentions right over here. We have the DP World with the largest indoor waterfall. We have Spain with the same interactive light, and the inside felt like you were more in a spaceship than an actual pavilion. And talking about light itself, we also have New Zealand, and I love how they included the same interactiveness with light. I feel like they're far more better than all the other countries, and the only reason it's not on the list is because it's quite a small pavilion and that's the only thing they have to offer, unfortunately. Then we have Brazil with the entire water playground, and I mean, yes, you can take off your shoes, walk around, run around, sleep over there in a hammock, do whatever you want, play safe, don't just fall around and get hurt. Then we have France where you have a live chef making you food for free right up front, and then on the inside you also have one of these temporary exhibitions. The time I went, the theme was chroma saturation. Then we have Poland with a very unique wooden interiors, and I don't think any other pavilion has done this. So the entire feeling of connecting directly with elements as raw as they are felt kind of different and very nice. And finally we have Italy. It has this entire nautical theme around it, and it's an homage to the rich cultural past. We traveled sort of to the Roman history, and this is David right here by Michelangelo, and the craziest part is that it's the exact same size as it is back in Rome. It was 3D printed out of resins bio-waste, so it's eco-friendly, and just a little bit of marble was added to it to retain its original look of it. You know what, I really can't fathom how much love and attention to detail has been put into each of these exhibitions. It's wild, but also you guys can't miss these 3 spots outside the pavilion. #1 has to be the Al Wasl. I mean, if you miss this, you're either blind or you just don't want to go there. It's the whole dome structure in front. Like, you grab your food, your snacks, you can just sit there and eat your food as well as munch on all the audio visual experience you're getting all around you. Also, random fun facts, Al Wasl is actually what Dubai used to be called back in the old days, and the whole steel structure that you see can also unwind to be 13.6 kilometers long structure of steel. What? Second thing not to miss, you have the waterfall, the 360-degree waterfall right next to the Al Wasl Plaza that also mimics the whole bioluminescent effect at night. And similar to Brazil, you can open your shoe and just walk in the water as you wish. You're free to do that. I mean, it's pretty evident beauty and diversity are probably one of the main pillars of Expo. And talking about pillars, we also got to get on one. This is the Sky Garden, the 360-degree Sky Garden. This is not free, by the way. It's 30 dirhams per person, and you get to get the ticket right next to the spot. It is quite thrilling to see the entire view of the Expo from that height, and I think the only thing that matches the height of that is the Al Wasl Plaza itself. I would highly recommend visiting this place right between 4 PM and 5 PM around the sunset time. So you get the view of the sunset at the horizon, as well as you get the entire night sort of look of the entire expo, because the entire expo site with lights on looks really stunning.
Okay. Now food, where to eat? I'll personally recommend having your food at the Talabad kitchen, because number one, it has more variety of food than probably anywhere else in Expo. You get Italian food, Indian food, Emirati food, and a lot more at the same place. Second, it's a lot more affordable and a lot less crowded than most of the places in Expo. And number three, which is my favorite part, is that it has robots in the whole kitchen. For example, if you want to have coffee, the robot will make the coffee for you and present it to you in a very cool way.
And there you go. I managed to somehow wrap up just a scratch on the surface of what is going on at this entire Dubai 2020 site over here. And before we end it, I just want to clear some confusion between people having to differentiate between Global Village and the Dubai Expo 2020. By the way, I have my video on the Global Village. It's up on my channel. Similarly, you can click over here or here and watch the video on it. But just to sort it out, the Global Village is also a world fair where merchants and vendors from all around the world have their own, each country pavilions where you can sell your own stuff, and also have dedicated foods from those countries. Rather, over here in Dubai Expo, it's more about how you experience with their culture, what is happening over there, and mainly countries showcase what their future developments and technologies are. So yes, Global Village is great for people wanting to shop different kinds of stuff and also have food of different countries, and it's been running successfully now for the past 25 years. Whereas the Dubai Expo is just like any other expo that lasts for 6 months and is ending on the 31st of March of 2022. So make sure you visit that place. This is your last chance to do it before it ends and goes to Japan, which is going to happen again in 2025. So this has been it. It was quite long. My take on Dubai Expo 2020. If you guys liked it, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. And if you guys have any questions whatsoever, leave them down in the comments. I'll make sure to check it out. It's your boy SAYONBIZ over now. See you guys on the next one.